Welcome back to HD Racing to another car build, because we can now do that for the Open Series in multiplayer. We can just take any car we want and don't have to level it anymore, which is great and which is why I want to do this more. So here we go. We are taking the new 2022 Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS, which was one of the reward cars for the single player campaigns of last month. And well, we're just gonna see what we can do in terms of upgrades. Open Series this time is S-Class and 6 cylinders, which is good because this is a 6-cylinder engine. We don't have to swap anything. And well, let's just see what we can and want to do. Don't really want to change the rear wing to this ugly thing. I don't know. Oh, that's not what I wanted to press. Sorry. That's always a little bit annoying. You hit the wrong button. I actually wanted to change here to... Yeah, it doesn't change anything in terms of that. It's probably for adjustability. I think we're gonna leave it for now and just see that we can do something else there. We definitely need a race transmission in this, and the race differential and tire compound. Actually, interesting. It's not on slicks, probably semi-slicks stock. I don't know. We are gonna take race tires for sure. And we are gonna increase the width. It's not much, but it's something. Gonna improve the brakes to race brakes. Springs and dampeners. That's already on race. Don't want to take drift. Always be careful with that. And we could go for a little bit more weight reduction. But maybe this time we're not going to do that. It would probably not be a bad idea, but since we're limited in terms of RPI and I want to do something a little bit different, I think we're going to see that we can maybe upgrade our power a little bit. We could go for aspiration conversion, but I don't think I want to fiddle with that today. So I think we're just going to upgrade raw power with some of the parts that we have here. And we're already almost at 800 PI. So I think we're just gonna top it off with a flywheel and then probably driveline. We actually still have something we could do. Actually, interesting would be, yeah, the race rear wing would increase RPI, so we don't want to do that. Front bumper also. Well, that's maybe something interesting that we could do to get a little bit more front grip. Just gonna take that and then see if we can maybe get back down to 800 PI. Can't quite, but maybe we then don't take the race exhaust and instead see if we can take some other parts. It's always a little bit of fiddling around here on what you can take or can't. And look at this, if I do it like this and don't take the ignition but the exhaust and the air filter, we are exactly at 800 PI. Maybe we can still take the flywheel. No, we can't. Let's take a look at the driveline. Also can't. So this is basically the limits of what we can do. So I think with that we're gonna get our car points. Just use some credits, 36,900, basically nothing, which is so awesome. I can just do this and don't have to drive the car beforehand if I don't want to. Of course I could, and it would have probably been kind of fun, but yeah, I think with that, we are gonna head into multiplayer and then see that we maybe also finish off with some fine-tuning, which would probably be a good idea. So let's see if there is a session going on here. And well, there is actually. Oh, it's not all that long, so we won't have long for tuning this time, but maybe that's also interesting because then I won't bore you to death with just trying things out and well, it taking a long time to do the fine-tuning. We're just gonna see that we do what we can in the limited time that we now have. And well, I think we're gonna start with doing some like initial changes. And let's see how the car feels and try to get this done in the 7 minutes that we still have. It's gonna be a little bit of a challenge, but well, I kinda embrace it. Actually, it's raining in this session, which is also interesting. But still, we are gonna do some, as I said, basic changes, just reduce tire pressures. I'm not gonna do much with the gearbox, just leave it like this. interesting on the alignment. I think we're gonna go a little bit lower. Don't wanna have toe in the beginning. Really high on front caster. Interesting, we're gonna reduce that a bit. We're gonna stiffen the anti-roll bars, but not all too much. I kind of expect this thing to be a little bit tail happy, so let's make it a little bit stiffer in the front. Reducing the ride height would probably be a not bad idea. And maybe making it a little bit softer, even though it's not all that stiff. Something like this. I think I'm gonna leave the damping. And probably also the suspension geometry for now. We are gonna increase our front grip. Well, probably not as much, because I also want to reduce rear wing. Might not be the best idea because we didn't take the upgraded rear wing, so we might have some oversteer problems with this. So I'm gonna put the brake balance a little bit more towards the center. And this looks a little bit high. Let's go to 20 maybe to start with. But other than that, I think that's the initial changes that I wanna do. And we are just gonna select our tires, which are wets, which is probably a good idea in this weather. And we're gonna see. It's of course always a little bit better to just try to get your tune done in a controlled scenario where it's preferably dry, unless you want to do the tune specifically for wet conditions. We don't have that option here, so we're just gonna make do. And if it's dry in the race, well, then we can just hope that our tune still works. But I think we will still be able to see the general characteristics of the car even when it's wet. Already feeling quite slidey here on acceleration. But let's see. I just want to see that the car feels drivable. That's all that we can hope for right now. And it doesn't feel all that great. I mean, if we wanted to have a drift car, that would have been good, but oh boy, that already didn't feel great at all. It's like there's very little grip. I mean, it's raining quite heavily, so once again, probably not the best conditions to try and fine-tune a car, but as I said, we don't have any other option right now. And I think if we're just a little bit careful, especially on power, could be fine. Definitely need to brake quite early in this. Not quite sure if that's just because it's wet or if it's just also the car. It's also something I don't know if this car will be good in a scenario like this in the Open Series. But we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. I mean, if we take it a little bit careful, it looks like it's okay. But I can definitely feel in these faster sections that we are not that great in terms of rear grip, so maybe the rear wing would have been a good idea. We can't go back now, so I think what I'm gonna do is actually, even though I really don't like doing that, we will reduce our front wing, front bumper quite a bit, because it's just kind of out of proportions with our rear one. And then, well, maybe actually increase our rear wing at least a bit, so we are kind of similar in terms of numbers. This looks weird right now, but as I said, with the upgrade path that I took, upgrading the front bumper but not the rear wing maybe wasn't the greatest idea. And especially in the rain, having more grip in the rear would probably not be that bad, but well, what can you do? As I said, we are now stuck with this and have to make do. Another interesting question is if we want to do qualifying, because if we do, we would have to start now, but actually taking a look at the time, I think we still wouldn't be able to make it now. So that decision is now taken away from me. We are not going to do qualifying in this. Not great, but what can you do? And already can feel so much that while braking, the rear really wants to step out, and I need to be quite careful. So yeah, once again, like I said in the last video, this is not gonna be an optimal tune. I mean, you saw how much time I took for this. Normally, if I wanted to do it properly, I would take a lot more time and actually try things out, and would have probably noticed that just upgrading the front bumper is not the greatest idea. But, well, you live and learn, and we'll try to make the best out of it. And I hope that we still will be able to have some nice racing here. As I said, just being able to jump into the open series like this, and without having to look at cars and then seeing, okay, what do I maybe want to take, and then level it to be able to upgrade it. This is just so much better. And if I decide that, well, this tune doesn't work, I can always completely change it, maybe go from scratch. And if I decide that even this car doesn't work, at least in this series, then I can also just try something else. And yeah, as I said in the last video, I think this is like one of the biggest changes that Turn 10 made to the game since release. And that's like, even though there are still some problems, especially still with the AI in single player and with the rating system and the penalties in multiplayer, I think that still needs some work. The game overall, for me, is much improved. I'm really struggling here. Well, that was definitely too late. Well, practice is over soon anyway. We are not making any changes because we don't have time, and I actually should have probably tried to do something more, but well, we're gonna deal with what we have here. As I said, probably not optimal, and I'm kind of curious what the weather is gonna be like here. And it looks like it's not raining all that much anymore, but that can be a little bit deceiving. I feel like that's a big problem with the changing weather in Forza Motorsport. You don't really know, you can't really see. I mean, the track is obviously still wet, but is it gonna dry up? Is it still raining? You can't really tell. There's no real forecast, no nothing. So yeah, we're just gonna have to take a look. And let's reduce our... You can hear the thunder in the background, I think. So I think it's safe to say we are still in rainy conditions. And since we didn't do qualifying, we are gonna start somewhere in the back, P15 out of 18. So, well, let's see what we can do. This is gonna probably be quite problematic in T1 and maybe even in the whole first sector, with it being wet and, well, a lot of different cars with probably different upgrading and tuning approaches. So it's gonna be wild, I would imagine. So hopefully we'll survive. Let's see. Fingers crossed. And here we go. I'm actually really scared. Let's try to take it as easy as we can for T1. And already there is carnage in front on the straight, and someone has a lot of power but probably not much grip. And sorry, that was... oh no, that was my fault. Sorry. Definitely too late on brakes, and I really pushed that one car quite far into the corner. Yeah, that's probably warranted. Big penalty there, but... well, as I said, probably correct. Definitely my mistake. People going off track there in the back. The car really is quite tail happy, as I expected, and well, especially in these rainy conditions and with the upgrades that I did. Not much of a surprise, I guess, but we still will try to make the best out of it. I was able to go on the inside there and overtake him, and oh, a little bit careful here. The Schumacher S here is probably the most dangerous part. At least if you try to take it at speed, which I didn't do here. We actually made it up to P7. I mean, with the big penalty that we have, that's not actually the case in the end result then, but at least we managed to make up a few places. And probably can take that a little bit faster. I was quite careful here, but rather be careful right now. Then, whoa, did you see that car in front? Am I imagining things, or was there a car flying like way above the track? You can probably go back in the video and check. I will have to do that afterwards, but that really looked weird. More than weird, actually. That was a little bit better than the first time around. Yeah, the car overall doesn't feel bad. As I said, I would probably try out to maybe go for the upgraded rear wing and maybe have a little bit of a better balance then. But for now, with what we did, I think this is not bad. And it's also difficult conditions anyways. We'll hopefully manage our tires well enough here as well that we don't have to pit. I mean, it's only 4 laps. It looks okay right now. Wet tires are always a little bit scary if it dries up, but it really doesn't look like that would happen in the course of this race. Oh, I didn't really want to shift down here. And why? Oh, he's ghosted. I was like, why is he inside my car? Actually, did it say DQ? He's disqualified. Apparently. That is something that I don't understand. And if he's disqualified, why is his car still on track? Shouldn't the game just put him in the pits then? Wouldn't that make more sense? That's really weird. And how do you get disqualified this early in a race? Ugh. Trying to slow down here for the chicane. I also want to apologize for, well, not having many videos out in the last couple of weeks. I tried to still keep up a little bit and get some videos out to you guys, but I definitely have a lot of other things on my plate right now, and that leads to me not having all that much time to, well, make videos for one, but also just do any racing in general. I think this is my first proper race this week. It should be. Like, I really have a lot of things to do right now. My girlfriend is actually building her own business right now, or starting her own business, and I have a lot of things to do to help her with that. So all kinds of things with hardware, software, website, and all kinds of other things. Yeah, definitely takes a lot of my time right now, so I don't have that much time to actually do racing and then also do videos on those races. So these impromptu, I'm just gonna take a car, build it, and then drive it is the best I can do for now. I hope it's still okay, and I hope you still enjoy these. I will try to get back to more regular content and also some more of the, well, researched guide type videos that I think you enjoy quite a lot, but it's gonna be a couple of weeks until I can really get back into it. He really didn't care, and another one that doesn't care.
Total time penalty is about 4.5 seconds.
Now I get pushed wide and I probably get a penalty for that contact, right? No, at least not that, but that's really frustrating. There was a lot of pushing going on from these two guys behind, and yeah, if you're on the outside on the corner like that and they just push you wide, you can't really do all too much, especially in these conditions. So sadly we are back to P10. Not going amazing this race, but well, it's still racing nonetheless, and maybe we can get back at some of these guys in front. If we can manage to avoid the complete slide around turn 1 here. It's getting even more difficult to drive, I feel like. Maybe because the rain is actually increasing instead of decreasing. But yeah, as I said before, we'll get back to doing more videos, hopefully in the not too distant future. But at the moment I really don't have all that much time to do much racing, so it will take a little bit of a backseat and there will be less videos in the coming weeks. I hope you will still enjoy the ones that I am able to put out, and yeah, definitely let me know if there's something specific that you want to see, some series that you want me to try out. I can then try to get to that. As I said before, the open series is something that I want to do more, because it's not something that I've done all too much in Forza Motorsport for reasons outlined before. So all the things that were just broken about this, it's the same for the Spotlight series. I was debating maybe also going for the Spotlight series, but didn't look all that interesting to me, at least this week. But I will try to get to that at some point as well.
Total time penalty is about 5 seconds.
Interesting, and I get a time penalty for going on the grass there and being slowed down by that. I don't know, the penalty system feels like it's gotten worse over the last couple of weeks. Don't know if they did any changes in the last update. There wasn't any communication on that, but it feels like it's gotten worse. And I feel like I also did go on power way too early there. So overall, not the greatest race here, but well, at least it's something, and I wanted to show you some racing this week at least, even if it's not much. As I said before, apologies for not having all that much content out right now. I hope you will still be around when I get back to it. And yeah, that's all I have for you today, sadly. But I hope that you still enjoyed, and I want to thank you a lot for watching. I've been HG Racing. See you in the next one.